Welcome again to my study on this Wednesday morning. Well, this week the church celebrates the feast day of St. Luke. It's on Saturday the 18th. And of course, St. Luke is one of the four gospel writers and also, we think, wrote Acts of the Apostles. He was a friend of Paul and really mainly thought of as a physician, a doctor. Although there's no hard proof on that. There's a lot of evidence to suggest that he was a doctor. Now, I have to admit that the Gospel of Luke is my favourite Gospel. I find it extremely clear, the narrative's good, and most of all for me, it's very inclusive. St. Luke may have been a Gentile, we're not sure, but certainly his Gospel is the most inclusive of the Gospels. He is the clearest Gospel writer in terms of explaining that what Jesus was bringing was for everybody, not for one part of the world, not for one sect, not just for Jews, not just for Gentiles, but for everybody. He was also the one who mentioned women most of all in the Gospels. Really a very inclusive Gospel, bringing everybody in to the faith of Jesus. And I was thinking about that inclusivity as regards to our benefice. It's very easy, I think, in the benefice to think of the Abbey, this wonderful, majestic place, which is full of God's Spirit and is a wonderful place, so busy, concerts and everything else. But within our benefice, we have three other parish churches. They're all village churches. They all have their own PCCs. They are independent in that sense, but they're part of our benefice, part of what we do together. There's Burlingham. Now, Burlingham is a very big church in the middle of Burlingham village. It's really a lovely church and has the most amazing churchyard, which during the winter has the most wonderful display of snowdrops. The whole of the churchyard is covered with snowdrops. They do weekends when you can get coffee and biscuits, and if you haven't been, please go. Burlingham now has a service every Sunday, and it does special services. It recently had a hymns and hymns service, which was very, very well attended, but we have to say we're not sure whether it was for the hymns or the hymns, but it doesn't matter because the people were there and they enjoyed the service. And then we have Pinvin. Pinvin is our smallest physical church. It's not in the centre of Pinvin. It's off to the right and it's in fields. It's a very small church and it has a relatively small congregation, but they are so friendly. And within that church, there are amazing medieval wall paintings, known throughout the world for these paintings. They are amazing. If you haven't seen them, please go and see them. And that church is one of the most friendly congregations, and the coffee and biscuits afterwards are excellent. And then we have Wick. Wick is another church that's in the middle of the village. It's in a very beautiful position. It's a lovely traditional parish village church. And this Sunday, I had the pleasure of doing their Harvest Festival. And inside was a tractor. Well, not a full-size tractor, but a lovely girl called Martha had bought her, I won't say toy tractor because it was more than a toy, it was a model tractor that she could ride on. We put all of the harvest gifts in it and she wheeled it up and we blessed them. And those will then go to the food bank and to Pershaw Cupboard in Pershaw, and everybody will enjoy their feasts. So there we are, a benefice, very different from just the Abbey. Wonderful churches, amazing services. Luke would be delighted that we are inclusive and joining in with all of those churches. So, in your prayers, please thank Luke and thank God for our wonderful churches and our marvellous benefice. Amen.